In the third cave, Jacob had completely circulated his nature essence according to the Sword Shadow Scroll 36 times. Then he took advantage of the little cloud rain array formation that Noah set up to complete his lightning cultivation. Considering the capacity of his body, Jacob only performed lightning cultivation once per week. However, the purpose of this lightning cultivation wasn't to create openings in his dragon core. Instead, he used it to strengthen his own realm, to activate his meridians fully. A dash of sword energy shot out of Jacob's cave. 1 became 2. 2 became 4. 4 became 8. 8 became 16. Each sword energy split into 2 with a slight shiver. This was the power of the Sword Shadow Scroll. Forming sword energy with nature essence and commanding the sword essences with spiritual senses. Jacob instantly unleashed a powerful sword array formation. The sword energies absorbed the nature essence in the valley and grew, splitting into millions of entities, and each absorbing the power of heaven and earth. This cultivation method was incredibly similar to the cultivation method of soul formation realm cultivators. All 320 sword energies grew and combined into a short, colorful sword essence. Then it shot back into Jacob's cave. Jacob raised his hands and completed his cultivation. Jacob thought of this cultivation method while he was dizzy and falling asleep. He could absorb nature essence with his sword energies and then transfer it back into his body. It allowed him to increase his cultivation speed even more. However, he could only train using this method in the safest place. Otherwise, it would be dangerous for him if the sword energies got chalked off halfway through his cultivation process. It would damage his foundation. It's about time. Let's head back. Jacob felt refreshed, and he walked to the entrance of the cave and shouted. Sophie flew towards Jacob's caves on her green treasure sword. The first chapter in the Big Dipper Constellation Scroll contained an advanced sword riding technique. Also, the longsword was a top-tier treasure. Sophie easily got the hang of this technique within half a day, since she was quite talented. The flying speed of this sword was nothing like the ordinary swords from before. Satisfaction was written all over her face. Jacob saw her smug face and decided to mess with her a little. He flicked his finger, and the sword energy flew out and hit the top of the longsword under Sophie's feet. Sophie tripped and fell into the grass beneath her. "Oh, you'll pay for this!" Sophie shouted and threw her treasure sword at Jacob. The sword ripped through the air and pierced Jacob. Jacob was already at the 4th level, so he wouldn't be scared of Sophie, who just reached the Foundation Establishment realm. He pinched the sword blade with 2 fingers. The sword blade made a sharp sound, and the quake made Jacob's fingers hurt a little. 4th realm was somewhere between the top-tier core formation realm and low-tier Nascent soul realm. He should have been able to defeat a Foundation Establishment realm cultivator with just 1 finger. However, Sophie was able to obtain such power within half a day by practicing this sword technique. That demonstrated how powerful this scroll was. In other words, as long as Sophie continued to practice the Big Dipper Constellation Scroll, other cultivators in the same realm wouldn't have a chance to defeat her. Jacob suddenly thought of that arrogant girl from the Sky Mountain sect and understood where her pride came from. Since she had this technique, she wasn't too afraid of other cultivators unless they were far more powerful than her. "Come on, let's get back." Jacob put the longsword into her cave and said. Sophie smirked at him victoriously when she saw the little nick on his finger and climbed onto Snowflake's back. When the 5 of them returned to the house, they saw a new car parked outside. Someone was visiting while they were away. "Go get some more team, Noah." Jacob heard Walter telling Noah that as he walked in. "Where did you guys go early in the morning?" Grandma asked Jacob in a slightly complaining tone. "I took them and Snowflake out for a walk." Jacob pointed at Snowflake. Snowflake was only the size of a palm, and it was wagging its tail and looking at Grandma innocently. "Your dad's guest is here, and his daughter is Noah's classmate," Grandma said. Jacob looked over Grandma's shoulder and saw the guests, the mayor, and his daughter. Your son is quite a handsome man. The mayor walked over with a teacup in his hand. Hello, Mr. William. Jacob greeted him after a half a second of hesitation. Sophie followed his example, and so did Kathy, Jade, and Julia. The mayor looked at the girls beside Jacob and smiled. He nodded kindly without asking any questions. Then he said to Walter, Mr. Brown, you and Mrs. Brown are our country's treasures. I wouldn't want anything to happen to you. It was a small accident, and it doesn't deserve so much of your attention. This is your second time coming here and visiting us in person, Walter laughed. Walter and Mila encountered landslides on Friday night, and they almost got attacked by the hurricanes. This had worried the mayor, so he rushed over on Saturday morning to see if they were all right. However, Jacob's family went on a trip, so the mayor made the trip in vain. Therefore, he drove over in person again. He did this to express his sincerity, as well as to calm the two scientists down. The mayor also dragged along his little daughter, hoping to build a better relationship with these world-class scientists since his daughter went to the same school as Noah. My daughter Anna goes to the same school as Noah, so I brought her along today for them to hang out a little, the mayor said. Definitely. Kids need to learn to get along with each other, Walter said immediately. Anna stood beside her dad in her colorful dress, holding on to her dad's hand. She didn't say a single word. She's so cute. She's so pretty. Jade and Julia bent their backs to examine Anna. They almost reached out and pinched her cute little pink cheeks. Anna looked at the two pretty big girls calmly. She didn't have any reaction to their compliments. Noah handed out water and tea to all the adults in the living room in front of Anna, as if he was trying to earn the Tri-Merit Student Award. Go play with your friend, Anna. You always read or practice the piano. You need to relax from time to time. The mayor patted Anna's head softly. I have the most classic game, Heavenly Sword, and the graphic is amazing. I'll show you. Noah got excited and flipped out his game disc before pushing it into the console. Anna held the glass of water in her hands and sat quietly on the couch facing the TV. She stared at Noah with her black, gem-like eyes as he was busy setting everything up. See, it's like this. Noah connected the machine and took out the controllers. He demonstrated for Anna as he played. Although he was very passionate, Anna seemed to be calm the entire time. She didn't even say a word. It's okay to play with your friends sometimes, sweetie. The mayor, who was in the middle of discussing the city's scientific development strategy with Walter, turned around and said to his daughter. Anna slightly nodded at last and picked up a controller. I'll teach you. Noah moved over immediately to show her how to use the controller. Anna looked down at the controller and tried it out a few times. Jacob and Sophie looked at them with tremendous interest. Noah was passionate as fire, while Anna was as cold as ice. This is very difficult. I've been playing for a long time until I reached the 4th level. I'll do it all over again with you, Noah said enthusiastically. Anna nodded and held onto the controller clumsily. However, her character gradually started to move smoothly. I'm on the 6th level, she said quietly, after half an hour. Noah looked at her in surprise. He then shook his head and said, this isn't very fun. Let's play Street Fighters. We can fight with each other. He slid in another disc and handed a controller to Anna, leaving the other one for himself. I'm a master in this game. Noah found the game guide in excitement and passed it to Anna. He said proudly, I know about all the unique skills of all the characters in the game. Anna read it for a minute and looked up at the screen before choosing a character. Ready? Go. Anna's fingers danced quickly on the controller, as if she was playing the piano. She murmured, up, left, down, slight punch, down, hard kick. Noah's character fell onto the ground. Anna won without taking any damage. Jacob looked at Anna and suddenly realized that this little girl was even more insane than Noah.